Hold on, real quick. I gotta get myself the ISO. Hey, get back, get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, get out the way. Hey. Give me the lane. 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 Okay. Yes, James. It is fucking stupid. Look. I'm gonna take y'all to class real quick. It's
Eren
called
was never the antagonist.
Intro to Writing 101.
I didn't take that class.
Well, you're taking it now. The protagonist is the character in the story that it's the main character of the story. It's the one pushing the plot forward. It's the one the story is focused around. That's the protagonist. I mean, most people should understand that as the protagonist. 'Cause the only reason there's not a lot of like of course, here's the only thing with protagonists that gets switched around a lot is because people be like, okay, this side that. It kind of switches like, oh, Sasuke is the protagonist in Naruto when it's still Naruto. It didn't actually change to Sasuke. I mean,
Sasuke is the deuteragonist. He's the second deuteragonist, meaning the second person, and the story is focusing around. But carry on, you're spitting right now. Keep going, preach my rebel.
So that's really what a protagonist is. But there's usually not a lot of like difference of opinion on that because a protagonist, usually most people, because people see that as the MC, so there's not a lot of differences of opinion because it usually doesn't change very often. It's almost impossible to actually change who the protagonist is. It is. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's almost like it's just not done. You don't see it being done. An antagonist is opposing the protagonist. Now, let me say it again for you. The antagonist is opposing the protagonist. Okay. So now we have that clear. You have to understand the fact that if Eren is the protagonist, he can't also be the antagonist. He can't like it doesn't work because he can't be opposing himself. Like sure, if we're like in someone's head, if let's say an anime took place in someone's brain, sure that technically they could be both in that sense. But this is not one of those things. For Eren to be the antagonist, someone would have to take over the protagonist spot. And while I hear the fact that okay, he's going against the greater people of he's going against these people. But in fact, no one actually overtook the role. I've heard it be argued that Reiner took over the role. He never took over the role of protagonist. No one ever took over the role of protagonist in that story, in AOT. It never happened. It just didn't. Like Eren was still the protagonist, regardless of there was nothing like that. So why are we calling? First of all, the biggest problem with this is that he's both. First of all, he's not the antagonist, but before we can even talk about that, he can't be both protagonist.
Hallelujah.
I don't understand. It's such bullshit. Crunchyroll, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Get your life together. This basic shit. I understand that not everyone has to know this, but Crunchyroll, you're a company. You're an anime company. You can like do some research. Like I don't understand why. How is this happen? Like let's say this. Like literally, Crunchyroll should ask Ishiyama about the parts where Eren is a protagonist and when he's antagonist before nominating him.
The craziest thing is the only thing about that comment, he was never the antagonist to begin with. But
look, I feel like they could ask Ishiyama, and I feel like Ishiyama would tell them what's going on. And look. The only reason I'm not able to control my emotions right now is because look, I've been holding it in for a while. I've been waiting to do this pod. I don't understand how he could win. Look, I get the meme. It's funny because it's stupid. But y'all gotta get your shit together. Whoever's saying that, I see people post like Eren is the anti-hero. He's the anti-whatever. He's the villain. He's the hero. He's the protagonist. He's the antagonist. All that, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm like, look, he's everything here but the antagonist because he's not. He's just not. Because for story purposes, antagonist does not mean villain. If someone's a villain, it does not make them the antagonist. A villain can be the protagonist of a story. Lelouch is the protagonist. Light is the protagonist. They were never not the protagonist. It doesn't matter. They can be. The person can literally try to destroy the world. Frieza, if Frieza was the main character in Dragon Ball Z, Frieza would be the protagonist of the story. Frieza just would be the protagonist because Frieza would be the one that's pushing but that would be the one that the plot's focusing on. It'd be the one that we're seeing Frieza's point of view that Frieza wants to kill all of the Saiyans, and Frieza's still the protagonist even though Frieza's the villain. He's still the villain. It doesn't matter. And in that case, Goku would be the antagonist. That's just how it works. And then you know what? Fuck you, Crunchyroll.
You know what I'm saying? Let me take over because you were spitting nothing but gospel. So this is the second part to the class of writing and what it means, to write a protagonist and antagonist. Until you can tell me where the story shifted from Eren onto someone else, regardless of whether we're seeing it from Reiner and Marley's perspective, until you can explain to me that the story shifted from Eren over to Reiner, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. Reiner is still the antagonist because he's still opposing Eren. Eren's not completely out of the picture. We're just seeing it from Marley's perspective so we can understand both sides. Eren's not out of the picture. Eren is still the protagonist. He shows up in season 4, part 1. So how are you going to sit here and tell me that Eren is the antagonist? As River said, the protagonist is literally the leading character of a story, film, whatever, and the antagonist is someone who opposes them. I think people don't like to look at definitions and kind of just go off what they see, which is understandable. I can understand that, but just know you're dumb. Most people, they would see, because I think we've mainly been accustomed to the protagonist being the good guy and the antagonist being the bad guy, where people then say, oh, if you do bad stuff, you're an antagonist. No, that's not how it works. You can be a villainous protagonist. You can be a villain. Or
you can be a hero antagonist.
If
Light, kind of.
Yeah, like
Ellen Light.
You can turn around and say, oh, I would say Ellen Light's kind of a iffy one, because Elle also does villainous stuff just in order for him to, you know what I'm saying, catch Light. Like, he doesn't
just to clarify.
You don't mind sacrificing people, but
that's kind of weird on hero and villain perspective. Just to clarify. Not on the protagonist antagonist. That one's clear.
Yeah, so, that one, But so if we want to turn around and say, oh, Code Geass, right? We say Lelouch and whoever. Lelouch is a villainous antagonist because of what he doesn't mind doing in order to, whether he would, because at first he wasn't a villain. He was trying to go the more peaceful route, but you know what I'm saying, he got to a point where he just couldn't, you know what I'm saying, he was killing people himself. You know what I'm saying? So he became a villainous protagonist, and the antagonist is opposing him and not trying to, even though they're kind of still a bit villainous because of what they're doing to you know what I'm saying, the people down in the boonies and whatever. But at the same time, it's like, you get what I'm saying. Lelouch is a villainous protagonist. He's still the story revolves around him. He's still, you know what I'm saying, he's the protagonist. I don't understand. I don't know where this whole notion came from that, you know what I'm saying, if you do something bad, you just magically become the antagonist, regardless of whether you was the protagonist. I don't know where that came from, but people are insane. Like, you can even look online. You can look at top 10 antagonists. Why the fuck is Light and Lelouch there? I don't get it. I looked at a list. I think yesterday.
They're there all the time.
Light is in top 2 antagonists. Why? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know where this notion came from. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Please know the difference. Whoever's watching this, if you don't know the difference, please get to know the difference.
I think we have a good explanation.
The antagonist, bro. Eren was never the antagonist, and there's no way you can explain to me otherwise.
Even though we got loud there, even though we're both frustrated, I think we gave good points. Regardless, that if you heard us out, you will understand. And here's something I gotta say from me, because I think it honestly comes down to ignorance. Because look, ignorance isn't even a bad thing. So me saying you're ignorant shouldn't even offend you, because I was also ignorant to this point. That of the antagonist and protagonist. Because back when we did our top 10 antagonist list, we put Lelouch on that list. And look, we were stupid at the time. I'm just saying that you can be that, and then like I learned the difference. I understand now the difference. Back then I was just going, okay, the antagonist is like a villain. It's just like a fancy word for villain. Whole time I didn't really know. I wasn't really, enriched. I didn't really understand yet. But sure, I'll take the blame for that. I understand that I should have probably looked into it more. We should have understood it before. Whatever. It doesn't really matter to this point. But look, it happens. I understand that people don't understand, but you gotta be willing to at least learn it and get it. You shouldn't be opposed. Like, it shouldn't, like, I feel like there's been so much pushback to this that most people should have at least seen something about it by now to understand the fact that maybe that's not how it is. Maybe there isn't that. The actual definition should be something you look into. And Crunchyroll shouldn't be just letting this happen. Like, if I was one of the people like that was doing Attack on Titan, if I was like Ishiyama or whatever, I'd literally be like, Crunchyroll, what are y'all doing? Even though I'm sure he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. But I don't understand why it just led to happen. I feel like someone should have been like, wait a minute, this is stupid. Someone, like, how would everyone sit there and just okay this? I don't.